Hi everybody, welcome to class 3 of our cabled hat. We are well on our way. We've got our ribbing done and we've got our first 2 rows of our cable pattern done. We did 1 row with our T2Rs, our little mini twists, and then we worked back. So we're now ready with our right side facing for row 3, okay? So row 3 in your pattern. And like I say, we are going to do our T2Rs every right side row. And this row, row 3, we're going to introduce using a cable needle, okay? I've got a little double-ended wooden needle here that I use as a cable needle. Sometimes cable needles look like a shepherd's hook. Sometimes they look like a needle like this, but they have a little crook in the middle. And we're going to be holding stitches on this needle and knitting them at a later point. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started on this row here. So this row starts with purl 2, and then we're going to T2R again, because we're going to do that every time we T2R'd on row 1, we're going to do it again on row 3 and 5 and so on. Okay, so we're going to go into the second stitch on our left needle and we're going to knit that. But we can't slide it off because it's sort of in behind needle or stitch number 1 here. So we are going to now knit stitch 1 and we're going to slide both of the loops off together. So we've done our T2R there. We are going to purl 2. And then we are going to cable. So it's our cable term in this hat is C6B. C obviously refers to cable. 6 is the number of stitches over which the cable sits, and B refers to back. And a cable can either be held to the front or to the back of your work. I find it more comfortable, if given the choice, to hold my stitches to the back. I just find it less awkward. And if you are cabling front or back, a cable held to the front will twist to the left. A cable held to the back will twist to the right. So that's if you see an Irish knit sweater, Aran knit sweater, and they've got cables going in different directions. It's usually just a combination of cable back, cable forwards, and different types of cable. Okay, so C6B. So we're going to slide the next 3 stitches to the back of our work. And we have them on our cable needle, and they're going to sit, just dangle at the back. Okay, we're then going to knit the next 3 stitches normally. Now, what are we going to do with these guys? We're going to knit them normally, okay? So you don't twist the needle. You just literally bring the needle back. Just sort of, it's been sitting naturally at the back. Now it's going to come forward, and we're going to knit the 3 stitches from the cable needle, like that. Okay, so we've taken those 6 stitches. We've taken 3 of them, moved them over, and the other 3 we've put to the back. So literally what has happened, if you can see my fingers, these 3 stitches, we took these 3, put them to the back of our work, we knit these 3, and now we knit these 3. So we've taken those 6 and gone across them like that. If it was an H-stitch cable, you would have put 4 to the back, knit the next 4, and so on. If it was a 4-stitch cable, it would be 2 and 2, and so on. So that's how they get you to do the cable twist. So now we're going to purl 2 stitches, and then we're going to T2R. So we're going to knit through the first stitch, and then, or sorry, I should say through the second stitch, through the first stitch, and then slide them both off together. And purl 2, and we are going to, oh, the sun's coming out here. All of a sudden there's a glare. That's okay. We're going to cable 6 again. So we're going to slip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, without knitting them. Put them to the back on our cable needle. We are going to knit the next 3 stitches normally. And then same thing, we're just going to bring the needle forward. Sometimes people get confused and think, oh, do I need to twist it, do anything funky with it? No, it went to the back just as it sat. It comes to the front just as it sits normally. So knit those 3. Okay, and then purl 2, T2R, so knit through that stitch there, and then that one there, and then purl 2, and slip 3 stitches to the back, 1, 2, 3, let it sit there naturally, knit those next 3, and then just as it sat, bring it forward and knit those 3. So that, people, is cabling. So you can see the beginnings here where we've got these nice twists happening. So with our C6B cable, we're only actually going to be doing those every 6th row. So row 3 is our cable C6B row. So for row 4 is going to be the same as row 2 was. Row 5 is going to be the same as row 1 was. Row 6 is going to be the same as row 2. And so repeating rows 1 through 6 sets the cable pattern of the entire hat. So you're going to repeat rows 1 to 6 until your entire hat, right from the cast on, measures 6.5 inches up. Okay, so you're going to have a fair bit of distance to go here before we have to do anything else that's different. Yeah, so work for 6.5 inches and end with a row 4. So end by doing a row 4 of your pattern, and that will set us up properly for doing the crown decreasing at the top. Okay. One thing too I wanted to mention about cable needles, I forgot to mention earlier, is that cable needles come in different sizes. In general, you want to use a cable needle that is approximately the same or just a hair smaller than the size of your needle you're working with. So my cable needle here is a 5mm little needle. If you don't have a cable needle to hand, you could use a double-ended sock needle, a shorter sock needle if you've got it. But there again, you know, if you're knitting on a 5mm needle, you wouldn't want to use a sock needle or a cable needle that was the width of, say, a 5.5 or a 6. It might stretch things out a bit, but it would be no big deal if it was a 4 or a 4.5. Err on the side of a little bit smaller than a little bit larger. Okay, so I'm going to get you to do, like I say, from rows 1 through 6 sets the continuity of your pattern. So do that for 6.5 inches, measuring right from the cast on. And we will get back to you. You know what? You've got a fair bit of knitting to do, so we're going to give you a week. So next Friday night, come back, same time, 7 o'clock, and we will tackle the crown decreasing. Okay? So we will see you in a week tonight. Have a good week.